Good morning, Katie Munn here with Munnday Musings. It is a cloudy Monday morning here in Portland, Maine. And today on Munnday Musings, we are going to be talking about addictions and substance abuse and the emotions around those things. So the reason why I thought about this is I'm doing an 11-day plant-based cleanse. I'm hosting it. It's absolutely free. So actually, if you're interested in the YouTube video below in the description section, there's going to be the Facebook group. That's a closed group, so you can ask to join that if you'd like to. So in the cleanse, we will be giving up coffee. And coffee and I have a torrid love affair. We are up, we are down, kind of an unhealthy relationship. And thinking about my relationship with coffee, I know when it sort of is hovering on the edge of dependence to an addiction, when I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling irritable, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm like, I gotta have my coffee. Then I'm like, okay, coffee and I need to break up. So thinking about the emotions around that, and not only when I'm in that space, but just in general, I drink coffee in the morning because it wakes me up. So I might wake up feeling groggy or tired or a little bit cranky, and then I drink the coffee, my nervous system stimulated. It's a diuretic, so it gets things moving in the body. Energetically, it feels like it invigorates you and energizes you, and then you're feeling great. So you go from feeling like groggy and tired to feeling awesome. And you ride that till about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then you start feeling tired again. So you start feeling tired again, and then for me, sometimes when I'm tired, I get irritable or cranky, and then I get a little bit self-doubting, like, oh, I have so much work to do, I don't have the time, how am I going to get everything done? And I start telling myself these stories that are a lower vibration. And then I have the cup of coffee because I feel like I won't be able to do it without the cup of coffee. So we do this with all kinds of substances, with alcohol. A couple weeks ago, my car broke down after I had just put a ton of money and work into it. And after that, I went out to dinner and I said, I'm going to have a glass of wine because I'm feeling really anxious. I'm feeling really frustrated, and I know it's going to calm me down because wine is a nervine. It depresses the nervous system. And so I was making that conscious choice. I'm experiencing all these icky feelings and I don't want to feel them, so I'm going to drink some wine to numb it out. And we all do this to some extent, right? So we had a hard day at work, we go home and we have a beer, or we smoke a joint, or we just veg out watching Netflix. And it makes sense. Our world is crazy go, go, go. And we often don't take enough time to relax, to reflect, to sort of turn inward. And therefore, we end up numbing ourselves out. Right? So this could be with a substance, but it also could be with a behavior. Sometimes when we don't want to face things, we may turn to work. We may turn to online shopping, to online gambling. A lot of times, there's uncomfortable emotions, and we bury ourselves in these activities because they make us feel better. They make us feel like we have self-worth, or they may give us temporary confidence or excitement. But when that all goes away, the feelings that we were feeling, the uncomfortable feeling, the lower vibration feelings, they come back. And so the idea of using a substance to release the resistance in theory is okay, or release the sort of tension or anxiety, but it's unsustainable. And where the addiction piece comes in is we don't deal with our emotions, we don't deal with these things, and then some substances actually do have addictive qualities to them. And then before we know it, we're partaking in a substance because we want to feel better. And then it's kind of like ignoring the root cause. Well, why aren't we feeling good? So you're going out to happy hour every day after work because you hate your job, right? You know you hate your job, but you're still not really willing to take a look at that. And so you numb it out by drinking. You have a crazy day at work and you go home and just get stoned all night long. So you know your life's crazy. You know you're not doing, something that's maybe in your highest vibration. And so you just numb yourself out. So the key to this is really looking at our emotions, looking where they come from, and sitting with them. And that can be super uncomfortable. You're feeling anxiety, you're feeling frustration, you're feeling fear. And the substance that you normally turn towards, okay, so I'm feeling really anxious, I'm just going to have a glass of wine. Instead of having that glass of wine, sitting with the anxiousness, feeling it, saying, hello, anxiousness, how are you? Kind of making friends with it. And then trying to identify like what part of you is feeling anxious. Is it the part that feels like you're not good enough? Is it maybe the little 7-year-old self that's being triggered? Because if we really take a deep look, we can identify like, oh, this is that part of me where over and over and over again the same thing happens and I'm feeling frustrated, or I'm feeling really anxious because I'm just not comfortable in this situation and I'm numbing it out by drinking every day after work when I'm really not comfortable in my workplace. So doing this, cultivating the awareness, sitting with yourself, trying to identify where the emotion's coming from, it can be super uncomfortable. And it may not create change that day, that week, that month, that year. But the more we cultivate some awareness about our patterns and behaviors, and the more we become more mindful about what we're doing in our lives, can really make a huge difference. And so the behaviors and the sort of substances I'm talking about are kind of on a lower level. There are some substances that right now, in Maine, we have a heroin epidemic, and that just takes a hold of you. So sometimes when you're in an altered mind state, it can be very, very difficult to even cultivate awareness because you're not, quote unquote, in your right mind. But if you are in your right mind, if you do have, some if you are able to cultivate some curiosity and look at your patterns and behaviors, I really urge you to be compassionate with yourself, to sit with yourself and understand if you do engage in a behavior that, like, oh, that's on the borderline of like an addiction or dependence. Don't beat yourself up about it, but just be like, I was feeling that way and I did that again. I was feeling that way and I did that again, in hopes to realize things that are sort of dragging you down or behaviors that ultimately aren't sustainable, in order to cultivate new patterns and new behaviors that will be sustainable in your life and ultimately bring you more joy and happiness. So I hope you all are wonderful, enjoying this gorgeous Monday. Again, if you want to join the plant-based cleanse, look underneath under the info and you can join the Facebook group. I love you all so, so much. Remember to be super kind and compassionate with yourself, and I'll see you next week. Bye.